should know some critical points before entering the housing market. There's a tremendous amount of information on social media regarding real estate and our housing market today. So am I just another realtor doing a video talking about how great the market is and trying to comment about the pandemic and how fast our market has rebounded this year? I hope that's not how this is perceived. I started doing these videos months back to help explain changes we've seen and how they affect you if you're buying or selling in today's market. Folks, I'm John Cowan. I'm with Ultra Realty. I'm located in the Dallas area of Texas, but this information is for all of you, okay? Whether you are local or whether you're in other states, our situations are very similar. You can find me on the internet, you can watch my videos, you can read my blogs, but today's a little different. I'm an optimistic person, and my optimism is strong when it comes to real estate. I said before the election that no matter what the result was, it wouldn't matter for the housing market because it continues to be the bright spot of our economy. There are critical points, though, to recognize no matter your plan for participating in the housing market. If you're leasing, you're considering buying, you may want to sell. What if you're just struggling to make your current home work? That's what this video was for today. You need to be prepared, though, with your best options. Why do I say that the election would not have any effect on the housing market? What a toxic environment we've had, folks, through this process. But the real factors and the real numbers driving the market will remain the same for the foreseeable future, despite what the result was on the election. So let's start by addressing those of you that may be struggling because of the pandemic to pay your current mortgage. You need to know what your options are. Do you know what forbearance is? Some of us are still learning how to say it. Forbearance. It is an option that's been presented through the CARES Act to give you the opportunity to work with your lender for a 6-month period of time, and at the end of that 6-month period of time that you've not been able to make your payment, if you can prove hardship, they can choose to give you another 6-month period. There are some very critical things you need to understand, though, about that forbearance and what it really means at the end of that time period. Could it mean that you need to come up with a large sum of money? With some of the lenders, yes, it does. Could it mean that they're willing to put that on the back end of your mortgage? That's yet to be seen. So that is not a clear path. It is a temporary measure and one that we need to talk about in detail before you choose to do that. What if you just choose, let's sell the house? What if you have equity? What if you don't have equity? Are there ways to sell either way? You bet. Folks, I've been around for quite a period of time in real estate for over 40 years. I've been licensed for 15. I experienced the Great Recession, and I was a short sale expert by certification, a foreclosure experienced agent, helping people deal back in 2007 and 2008 with a catastrophic effect that we saw during our recession. So I can help you today. What if you're currently, though, a tenant, or you're looking to become one? You want to get out of mom and dad's house, okay? You want to get out of your friend's, back room. Do you have options? Yes. And as a landlord, not just a realtor, I'm really a landlord. Let me give you some pointers. Can you negotiate a better lease in this inventory-starved real estate market no matter where you're at? You bet. But do you know your leasing financial power? Do you know your housing plan for the next 1 to 3 years? Folks, those are the points. Those are the things that I want to talk to you and explain what your options are. You want to prepare yourself to be as strong and viable as you can to a landlord, because a landlord has got a lot of people standing in line for the property. There within is why you need to understand how to best prepare to stand in front of a lot of those folks. But what if you're wanting to purchase now or when the next year? Patience, flexibility, and knowing how to maximize your buying power. I'll talk to you about how to qualify in advance with a lender, how to make sure that you're prepared even before you talk to the lender on what you need and what you need to know to put yourself in a good position with them. You need to be pre-approved in this market. You cannot go out and look at properties and not be prepared with a lender in advance. You may need 4 to 6 months. I tell my buyer clients, I want you to call me months before you want to start looking at properties so that I can help you better prepare. Know what your options are so that when we are ready to go out and look at properties, you are going to be ready when you see one to make a decision. And you will have all the financial things in order to back that up to make a good offer. And knowing how to present that offer in a multiple offer situation, I like to pride myself with the success that I've had in helping my buyers get deals when there are other people out there, okay? So what if selling might be a consideration? Is there a better time to sell? Is there a better way to sell? What do I mean by that? You can sell in the typical market. Have a realtor, a professional realtor come in, represent you, help prepare your home, put it on the market, negotiate, do all those things that we do professionally to help you. You might choose to try to do it yourself. Not something I recommend, of course, but I can at least explain to you why you may or may not want to attempt that. You might be tempted to read the mail, get all this stuff out of your mailbox that says, we want to buy your home. We will pay you market price. You will save money not dealing with a realtor. Let me explain what all those really mean before you sign anything. When you see the fees, when you see the tactics, and I don't mean that in a bad way, if you see the process that they go through to actually buy your home and you think it's a convenience to have someone out there just come in and offer you something on your house and pay cash and close very quickly, you need to understand the details. You need to read the fine print, and I can give you some indications of what you're going to expect before you get there. So another thing that a seller needs to be aware of that's very critical is if it's time to sell or you think it's the best way to go ahead and proceed, you need to know what you're going to do afterwards. So what you choose to do on how you sell and who you sell to depends on where you want to go afterwards. Are you going to lease? Are you going to downsize? Are you going to move out of the market, go into a strange market that you're not familiar with? These are all things that I like to visit with my clients and explain to them. So going forward, that's what you need to know, okay? I think it's important at this point, to know that simply all that I'm trying to tell you is that you have options. I always want people to understand all their options before they jump into anything. So before you decide to lease, before you decide to buy or sell, pick up the phone, talk to a professional realtor. If you're in the state of Texas, especially if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I'll give you information, to reach me. The best way, if you want to just Google John Cowan, Realtor in Dallas, I think you'll find all my information. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. You can go and watch my videos, look at my blogs, my website, and yes, I even give out my phone number because I still like to talk to people, okay? So if you have a question, reach out. Do not do anything without getting your facts. If you are struggling, please talk to a professional. Feel free to call me. Do not let your lender take your house without knowing what your options are. Do not buy a house in this market unless you can meet some basic criteria that are physical and emotional that I'll talk to you about. If you want to buy in this kind of market, you really need to plan on how long you're going to be in that home, and I want to talk directly to you about that. If you're going to sell, I want you to know where you're going and feel comfortable with that as your option so that we can transition and work the time frames to your benefit. And if you're leasing, please don't hesitate to call. I'll be happy to give you tips on that as well. Appreciate it. Reach out, watch my videos, let me know if I can help. Have a great day.